Alright, so this has been a project long up and coming here. Um, Started a new block for school, and with new classes, luckily I was able to get a little bit more time to work on this assignment, so thanks, Professor, for that. Fortunately, wasn't able to put forward as much time as I was hoping, though, on the project, so it's not exactly where I want it to be, and I think a lot of that's just my perfectionism coming through, but that's okay. Ultimately, I was able to keep practicing um, these skills over a long period of time than just 5 weeks. So it's helped ingrain a lot more of the knowledge. So I think that's a win, honestly. One of the main things we're going to be talking about in this video is how to just set up a level in general, my thought process that went behind this. It's really more of a walking simulator, has a puzzle inside it, has lights that trigger when you look at them. Has a sequencer, not quite built in, but I do have a sequencer and the little bits that I'm learning through there. It's got moving components. Um, Also has lock and key features built into that, sequence nodes. I tried putting in a gate node, so we'll talk about the successes that I had as well as the failures and what I did try and overcome those, and where I had to pull back a little bit on the adventurous parts because I wasn't able to quite make it work. So let's go ahead and dig into this here. So ultimately, at the very beginning, you start at this spot, you get a phone call, person's confused, and they walk in and they start going through the maze. Let me move this guy out of the way more. And so they're going through the maze, they're doing their thing, and then you get to a trigger box. An event happens here. I won't spoil it quite yet. We'll talk about this in a bit. You have a room to go through. You keep going. There's a sequencer event here that I wanted to connect to play. I can't quite figure out how to get it to work. Sequencer event falls around here corner. You see, oh look, there's light. Let's go into this cave. Events happen here. And then you're able to continue forward through this guy. Last cave to go through. And then look, there's a wall. So you have to figure out what you do to get rid of that wall. And then from there, it's basically just walking towards the exit. So let's do a little bit of a playthrough real quick, and then we'll talk more about the coding that goes behind it. Where am I? What's going on? What the heck? Hello? Hello? That's so weird. Hello? Huh.
Hey, Jake, this is Robert here, just calling in. Um, Look, I know you're in a weird spot. Don't really know where you are, but, well, just keep your eyes open, okay? And good luck. But
Okay, well, first bug that wasn't there earlier. So we will work on adjusting that real quick. So you're going to hear the voice call again. So bear with my poor voice acting.
where am I? What's going on? What the heck?
Hello? Hello? Oh, that's so weird. Hello? Huh.
Hey, Jake, this is Robert here, just calling in. Um, Look, I know you're in a weird spot. Don't really know where you are, but, well, just keep your eyes open, okay? And good luck. But, ba-bum, ba-bum.
All right. So, a little bit of some empty space there. Definitely some stuff to take a look at and work on. Let's talk a bit about some of these things though. So once you begin, you have your third person, and in your third person, you got the general normal coding. But then set into this, we've also created a flashlight to set the visibility to flip-flop between pressing F. And this visibility is set on the viewport. It's connected to, the top part, and then you also have the flashlight right there through a spring arm. I set up a first person camera, third person camera, and when you toggle C, it's able to swap between the two different cameras. These guys right here. So that makes it a little bit easier to move between the two different parts. And then you have, in the beginning of the phone call, upon event play, delay a little bit. Then there's a sequence where you have the phone call ringing and the confused voice. Then there's a delay in between these two different guys for the second phone call and response from who is called Robert. You have your trigger and then the static act mesher right there that responds. So the look at trigger, this is set up to be, this is, a child part of it. At the beginning of the play though, it's going to check if the person's in it, they're overlapping. And if they are begin overlap, you're going to check and see what's happened, do it once, and you're going to play the sound at the location. So that's going off of another one that I'll pull up here. So look at trigger is basically saying once you begin, you're going to turn ticking on for the time being if the actor is overlapping and where they're at. So if so, when they overlap happens, you're going to check, and once they are out, you're no longer going to be checking. So when the event is ticking, what's happening? So we're doing the macro right here. If the player is looking at the object, so this is the object that's going to be referencing here, the BP interactable mesh, which is the mesh that I showed you earlier, and then the view angle, which you're able to then select once you add the blueprint to it, what angle that's going to be. So if the player is looking at the object, we're going to, if that's true, we're going to have a slight delay, and then we're going to check again. They're looking at the actor, do once, we're going to do what the actor interaction is. If they're not looking, we're not going to do anything. So a little bit of a pickaxe trigger that we saw earlier. Upon overlap, we're going to enable input, going to show some text renders there, and then we're going to do similar thing. We're going to disable that input. Pressing E unlocks the wall and destroys the actor. This was kind of actually having some issues, so I scrapped this part of the code to actually trigger it, and instead I created through a video a different way to do it, where we did a custom action event pickup. We imported that from creating a blueprint interface. We then created the action through the item itself to unlock rocks, the rocks to unlock, and then for each loop, we're going to print a string just saying item picks, just so you know. And to delay into the next tick, it's then going to destroy the actor. So we do the delay until next tick so that it doesn't destroy the actor and forget to put the pickaxe in the hand. If you notice, the person then running around was carrying that pickaxe just as part of the animation. Nice little attention to detail there. The destructible wall itself, though, it is set to be locked through a Boolean variable. If it is locked, it's going to say so when you get next to it, and if it's not locked, um, then it's going to destroy the actor. You're checking to unlock the rocks. It's initially set to be unlocked, and upon overlap, it'll check if it's locked, like we set up here earlier. The breakup wall is what you saw earlier. Just begin input overlap. If it's true, destroys the actor there. So it's just something that I created on the side. Go ahead and close these guys out. These guys are set as part of the puzzle where they're checking for the actor, the block, if it's overlapping, it's going to be set for success or not success if it's not overlapping for false. Upon overlap, it checks for it, it sees as equal, and this is just the other key code where it's going to do once to play the sound if it does happen. If nothing happens, it doesn't do anything then. So once you move that block to there, that's when you hear that bump sound effect that I created. And through our puzzle manager over here, you're able to see that begin play. This is how it sets up the view for the player. Every tick event, it's going to check if the puzzle pieces are done through this array there, and once it is done, it's the victory, so to speak, is that it sets the view door, or it changes the view for the player, and then again sets the view to the player back, so you get that feedback of, oh hey, that wall is now gone. And then this is just what happens again for victory. So yeah, these are the main things that happen. Last thing go over is key block. Event begin actor do once. It's going to start a legacy camera shake. Seems not to work very well. Play 2D sound, rocks falling down, and then for each array loop, we will set the physics to be true. So they're falling down. So then the moment you end the overlap, it turns off physics. So that's one way where like it's falling, and then all of a sudden when you like step forward too much, it then stops falling. So like it keeps the rocks in place, and then you have to go through here instead. So you have to find the pickaxe in order to move forward. So that's pretty much this level in a nutshell. All the different areas. Again, these look at trigger lights that connect with it, and the lighting for certain areas there. If I had a little bit more time to be able to put towards this amongst the other responsibilities I have, I would have focused more on lighting for the area. I wanted to keep things dark to add to the mood, but there is still a lot of areas where they're darker than they should have been to be able to get the feedback you needed. The other thing I wanted to add is in this level, part of the project was to have like things that move, like a moving door, and I just had a hard time getting the timeline translation to work out, but I wanted to do it where you first begin and this is like right here, and then when you walk up to it, that it would then open, and then once you get past it, it closes again, blocking you off. So, and like a do once, right? Do once, do once. But I wasn't able to get that to work, unfortunately. Did have part of it set up for a gate node that I was trying to do, so I'm sure there's just small tweaks I have to do, but I am trying to use a gate node through that. But yeah, this is what it looks like from up top. Probably put about 30 plus hours into this project, and I really did learn a lot. So I'm grateful for doing this.